All right, it is Coach Sierra, and I have the most lovely Arleta here. She's one of my clients, and we're just going to chat today about you, your journey, and kind of, where you're headed off to as we continue on your journey. Um, so if you don't mind sharing, before you started with Queens of Iron, what were you doing before?
Well, so I I already was working out and probably was at least 7 years before I joined Queen of Iron. So initially started with a pure bar, like so I was doing the bar classes. And so I did that probably for like almost a year, and I really got like, really that bag, and I just wanted like to do a little bit more. So I found another gym mission in Portsmouth. They had all different strength classes. Everything was group classes.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of strength, like a lot of cardio, like a lot of jumping, lunges, all those that, planks and, cool stuff. There were weights, but they were maybe 5 pounds weight. And so like I started really getting into like everything, like the fitness, like I really like how it made me feel. So I wanted to do a little bit more. And I heard that I was like, well, if you really want to change your body, you have to lift weights, right? So so I started looking into that, and I found F45. They were lifting weights.
They
And I
were lifting
remember,
weights.
yeah. So because I still want to be part of like the group workout. Like I was not comfortable going to the gym on my own. I was like, I would have no clue what to do, like how to even use the machine. I would be probably one of those people, on those funny videos you see on Facebook, like how people like use the equipment completely in the wrong way. That would be probably me. So I was like, I'm gonna go safe route, and I'm gonna go to the group workouts. So that's kind of what I was doing for lifting. And I remember my very first class, I thought it was like so silly. Like I just didn't like it. The good mornings. And I was like, this looks so weird. Why people are doing this? I was like, oh, this is for.
I
um, yeah. But so that was my kind of like first time trying the lifting weights. I did one class, I stopped for a little bit. I went back to like my other group,
yeah.
classes. And then I kind of like after 6 months around the COVID time, I returned back to F45, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna kind of like force myself to do that. And I really, really liked it. I actually really got really good at it, in my opinion. I started like feeling
I believe
stronger
it.
and yeah.
I believe
um,
it.
yeah. So, so that was probably I was with them for like 3 years. Towards the end, like I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was like really like I met a lot of people, I had like really still good friendships from going there.
Yeah.
But I just didn't like the way it was shaping my body. And I was like, why? I was like, I heard that lifting weights is supposed to make you look
Right.
good and feel good. And when I went working out, I felt really good. I was getting a lot of compliments from people. But when I put the clothes on, I just didn't feel comfortable. I just didn't feel like feminine. Like I felt very like bulky and big. And everybody that would see me, I would comment, "You look so strong."
Mm,
And I was like,
yeah.
and I liked it, but I just did not feel comfortable in clothes. Like I don't know. And then I start talking, like I was into fitness. So I was looking and I was listening and watching a lot of different things on Facebook and YouTube's. And I came across, you guys. So I started talking to Kristen, and she said that this was because of my diet, right? It wasn't, and obviously the lifting program as well, because I was like, F45 is for everybody, right? It's not going to shape the body you want. So it's still good because you're moving your body, and I was getting a lot of muscle, but I was getting a lot of muscle in my upper body. So my upper body exploded. And now I know, obviously working with you for so many years, that like it doesn't take me a lot to build my upper body. I
No.
can literally probably just do it once a week and I'm done to maintain it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like really big. I was like, and I remember I was at the kitchen table, and I was talking to my husband. I was just raising my arm like this and, doing all of these things. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, you're so jacked because my biceps like popped up. And I was like, okay, I think I'm done with that 45. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And so I started talking to Kristen, and she, what kind of struck me the most was the fact that she was volunteering all the information that she knew, and she was willing to help me without like me to committing to anything. Like I didn't promise her to like sign up for anything. I just felt she was very genuine, that she was really like wanting to help. So I was talking to her, and she was telling me these things, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I look into the pricing. So initially I was like, I don't know if, this is within my budget. So I was sitting on it for a little bit. But at some point I was like, okay, this is worth it. Like, I mean, because I don't feel good in my own skin. Like, and I love working out and I want to work out, but I was like, obviously I'm not doing it the right way. Like, I just need help because I was doing it at point all my own. You know, I had some obviously resources by watching different things, right? But
And you came to us pretty lean. Like even
yeah.
though I know you weren't comfortable in your body, there were like areas you wanted to tone, you wanted to build.
Mhm.
You did come to us like lean. Like you weren't like anything, like you worked hard. All of you could see the muscle you had built in at 45, but I think that was probably the biggest thing was like you just it wasn't the shape that you were like that's the look I really want. Especially like you said, upper body was like exploding, and then you're like lower body, come on, let's.
Yeah. And especially like talking to you guys, like just in general, right? Like women don't, like the lower body comes like really later, right? In the process, right? It takes a little bit longer
Yeah,
to come around than upper body, because upper body we don't have as many, I guess, those big muscle. Maybe the biggest one is the back, right?
yeah.
But the biceps, triceps, those are small little muscles. So,
And it
you
leans
know,
out first too. The upper body
yeah,
will always, for most women, will lean out
yeah.
first. You tend to carry more fat, like lower body too. So sometimes it's like, oh, I have all this muscle, and it's like actually we have a little bit more fat than we think in our lower body. Um, but I think that's the other beautiful piece was like once we actually got you into physique shaping and getting to like push you into a totally different realm because you were used to the group classes and, I know that can be kind of tricky. You were in-person training and then moving to like online. How did that feel for you? Was it like, what did you question it? Did you feel like it was an easy transition or was it a little bit of like a learning curve?
Well, so for me, so initially I was not sure how, I will feel about like working out, in my
Yeah,
own basement by myself
yeah,
without because it can be encouraging, right? You're in the group setting. So like you have other people, you see people pushing and you just want to do better or you want to do the same, even you may not feel like it, right? Where by yourself, I was like, I'm not going to push myself. But I actually found the opposite. I feel like I have more discipline than I thought I do, right? Like I built like really good habit at that point. It was like just second nature. So I didn't find any challenging, like anything for me as far as like working out by myself. And what I love about this program, this coaching, that I actually felt much better because at F45, even though there were coaches over there and looking around and walking around the room, nobody was really paying attention to you, right? Like you were kind of part of the group, like you were not the individual. So I learned a lot of bad habits and bad form, unfortunately. And later on, like, I had lower back issue
yeah,
because people just don't like really tell you're doing it wrong. And I was doing it wrong pretty much for 3 years. I was lifting weights for 3 years and nobody was telling me like I'm not doing it correctly. They would come if it was super bad. They would come and they will fix it, right? They will tell you, but it had to be really bad, like And
it had to
with
be
you
like
guys,
sticking out
yeah,
to them. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So what I love about this, obviously, that like I can send you guys the feedback form, and what helped me a lot. And I was like, I start paying more attention, obviously, to the form, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna hurt myself. I start to really be very intentional with the lifts. Where at 45, it was just all about lifting heavy, the heaviest I can lift, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Go hard. Go hard.
Yes.
Without
Yeah.
thinking about, am I feeling my muscles? Am I actually
Exactly.
am I working the muscle? Like, which, and that's hard too. I transition from like, I'm lifting so heavy, and then me being like, hey, we got to lower those weights. And you're like, wait a minute.
Hmm.
No, I can lift heavy, which, like, girl, you can lift heavy, but heavy is always like relative to so many pieces. Like, what we're doing, how we're feeling it. Are we feeling it? Are we working the body? And I think that's been so cool to watch you like even just like the other day you sent squats and it was like so beautiful. Heavy squats, you were crushing them and the form was beautiful. So beautiful. And no back hurting.
Yeah. Nope. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, so I had to scale back, and that's kind of like, sometimes, I just feel very, humble, because I was like, I do want to lift heavier, but I was like, what's the purpose? I was like, purpose of it is just not to lift as much as heavy as possible, but just to build the physique I want, right? Like focus on the muscle I'm supposed to work. Because if I'm lifting with my lower back, it's not doing me any favor, right?
It's growing.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
the opposite of what we're working on. So
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Would you say like as you've come to Queens of Iron, there's been a shift because of like the mentorship, like us working together, a shift in you and your physique, like those things, mindset, even body,
Yeah.
all the things, Arleta.
Yeah. So yeah, well, the big part of like why I keep like renewing my contract with you guys, and just like I love, yeah, I love the support, that I'm getting from you guys, from you, obviously because I'm working with you.
I love it.
So, and like I mentioned that, the feedback form, it's very important to me to make sure like I'm safe and I'm working the
Yeah.
mass I'm supposed to work. Um, what was the question?
No, you're good. Like, how have like body mindset shifted with like our mentorship, like just working with you?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So I feel like I'm a completely different person now than I started, for sure. Like obviously going in, like I was hoping for the best, and I was a little bit scared because, like I was like, okay, there's this person like from, online, so I was not sure, how that's gonna work. I was like, hopefully this is not a scam. um, so, but I was hoping, like that, this will work out and I'm gonna be very happy. And so initially I signed up for, I believe, a year because I was like, okay, it's gonna take a little while. It's not a like 1, 2, 3 process. It's not 3-month process. You just do it for 3 months and you just go back to your old ways. Um, so, but like it's been like so much more than I expected, and I'm so happy that I've done it because it changed my life so much for the better. Because like I feel now like I have a purpose. Like I don't know how to. I'm gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry. I'm about
Yeah,
to lose it. I gotta keep it together. It's okay.
yeah,
Why we cry? Let's cry together.
yeah. Right. So like everything changed, like obviously getting support from you. So like when the last cut I had, like I was struggling and like knowing I had you in my back corner, like that I could reach out to you pretty much anytime I wanted to, right?
Yeah.
And you would leave me that 10-minute message
We
that
all
I could listen over and over and over again. So like when I was struggling, I'm gonna listen again and again and again. And then, like, and I remember you said, remember you choosing this. And it kind of like stuck with me. Okay, this is my choice. Nobody's forcing me. You're choosing this. Okay. So you better, suck it up, buttercup.
most loving way, right? Like loving,
Yeah, exactly.
but I love that.
No, you didn't say that to me, but I know that this is one of your sayings. um, no, but like you said that, you remember, you choosing this, you want this, you're doing it for this purpose, you have a goal, so I mean, obviously it's any point I can, decide if I don't want to do it anymore, right? Nobody's holding on to my head and saying you have to do this. it's my choice. So kind of stuck with me because but through those very difficult times when I was struggling and I was hungry.
It's real. And you're
Yeah.
eating, I mean, even with like everything you've been doing, something we should have maybe said at the beginning too is, you know, we've seen you transition into perimenopause and having more hunger, having hot flashes, sleep not being like what it used to be. Even when we first started working together, you were like sleep together, like sleep like a baby, like everything was together. And then we've seen like a shift in those hormones and your cycle has completely shifted. And the cool part for you has been you've not only have we maintained all of the progress, but we were looking back at like we were talking before this and her old like deficit that we were at, and then when we reversed, we're actually leaner now at maintenance than when we left our last deficit. And she had an injury. She's had a
Mhm.
wrist injury and surgery she had to do during that time. And it's been so cool to just watch your body continue to like chip and recomp and how you work because like you do send the form feedback. You do lean in when life gets challenging or you are hungry or we get to pivot. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's think through this. But you've been amazing with that because I think that's also led to us working together so well because you've gone all in. You've leaned all the way in, which I love.
Oh, thank you.
Real. Oh, last question, because, obviously people thinking about this program, and I love everything you said about like you were doing all the group classes, shifting to Queens of Iron, maybe even a little worried, like, is this a scam? Like, what are they gonna do? But who would you say like this program would be for? Like if you felt like somebody was struggling or needed the help or whatever, who do you think it would be for?
I think exactly for that type of person, right? That they are struggling, they need help, right? To that kind of that get them to the next level. Because I feel like this program is for somebody who has already like willing and wanting to do the work, right? Because you're gonna give them all the tools, but they need to do the work, right? At the end of the day, so they have to be motivated and wanting to do it. But like if they are doing it by themselves and then they need that extra help to get them to where they want to go, whatever goals they have, right? Like I feel like this program is really perfect. Like I had my friend Melissa, right? She was already working out, and I know that you know this program was so good for her because like I knew that she was struggling, with certain things, and I was like, that mental piece nobody talks about, right? Because I was like, oh yeah, we have macros, we have to eat certain way, make sure to hit the protein, we still have to go to the gym and go to the workouts, but everything starts here, right? So if you're gonna be talking to yourself and finding excuses, and if you're struggling with anything, if it's like binge eating or like going out, having too much to drink, or your life is super busy and you're just on the go all the time, traveling a lot, your work is crazy, stressful, you have a big family, and I feel like a lot of people like taking on themselves too much, and trying to like do their own fitness and health. And I feel like it could work to the certain point. Um, but I feel like a lot of people like get those setbacks, right? And get to the certain points, they go backwards again and get here and go backwards and back and forth. I think that program is perfect for anybody who wants to move forward and do not go backwards anymore, right? Move forward.
That place.
Even if it's small little steps, right? Like,
It is. And I think about like even with us, like we've got massive goals on the horizon, which is
yeah.
so fun. But it's been so cool because we haven't gone back. Even like when we've gone to maintenance, and because we've been in some deficits and maintenance phases. And I think the beautiful part is like even like this maintenance phase has been so gorgeous because we've recomped, we've like the scale might be looking higher than
Mhm.
it was at one point, but body shape measurements are down and like physique is just crushing. And we're like really our goal now obviously is building the legs and the glutes and it's
Yes.
been our goal for a while, but we're busting it out. And I think that's the coolest part is yeah, like if you want to go to that next level and you're like capped out, there's like a point where, having that investment in yourself, it's going to save so much time, energy. You're not having to think, you're not having to be like, do I change my macros? Do I not change my macros?
Yeah.
Because we get to,
Probably a lot of times people just make the wrong decision because you are just, you're too close. You have emotions, right? Like, so
yeah,
one day you're not feeling good, right? You may feel bloated, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna decrease my macros. Where, you could be just eating something really like the night before, like pizza, and you just bloated because maybe you're not used to having pizza, right? And you're just retaining water, and but we are very emotional creatures, right? So like on the spot I was like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna eat, like I'm gonna cut my calories because like I feel like heavy, where
it's real.
you're on the right track and probably in 2 or 3 days everything will calm down, right? Yeah.
Such beautifully said, Arleta. It's
Yeah.
real though, because we are human and like it's why I have a coach too, because I get
Yeah.
in my own head, even though I know all the things, I do it
Yep.
all the time. And I'm still human. Like we still have these things in our mind that's like, oh, maybe we should do this. Like we should add
Yeah.
more. Like, and sometimes it's like, no, sometimes we just need to just pause. Just pause for
Yeah.
a minute.
Hmm.
We are
Yeah.
emotional beings. And we mean well. I think everybody means well, but
Yeah.
um, girl, thank you so much. This has been so amazing. And I appreciate you coming on and chatting. And I'm gonna throw this out here too, Arleta, if you're okay with it. Do you mind if
Okay.
people reach out to you, like to ask you questions if they have like more that they just want to ask you? Do you mind?
No, absolutely. Yeah. Of
Well,
course. Yeah. I'm
just
very
'cause I know
welcome.
sometimes people are like, like you said, is this legit? If you want to
Yeah.
just share, like sometimes it's nice to like talk to somebody in the program too. So,
Yeah.
so if you want to talk to Arleta, send her
Yeah.
a message.
Yes.
Well, girl, thank
Yep.
you so much. I appreciate your time and girl, I'll chat with you soon.
Okay. Yeah. Well, probably we'll talk today.
Yeah,
Later.
I'll say later.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.